So, steadily moving on now. Spoken already about creativity, NFTs. Now it's all about moral NFTs, the global drive to change the world. Now, the next gentleman to grace the stage right now is actually a very sought-out speaker indeed, advisor to the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, China E-commerce Blockchain Committee, and responsible for growth to 100 trillion US dollars and maintaining its current 70% global market share as well. And he's actually currently preparing to launch the prepared to launch 210 million pound Seratio DTL open bank registered in London by PRA and FCA. So I'm intrigued as much as you are really to hear what this gentleman has to say. The director for the Centre for Citizenship, Enterprise and Governance, Professor Olinga Taeed.
Go for it. Thank you. As he falls right through.
He's on his way. I'm sure he's either coming here or coming through the time machine.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I heard it all.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Okay. I know it's been a long day, so we'll make this quite short and brief. Okay. Right. So let me explain what we want to talk about today. You may find some of this hard to bear and not particularly comfortable about the NFT market. The fact is, the NFT market is far from successful. I don't know if the guy said to you, I was the first professor in blockchain in the world, so I have a little understanding and I do a few things around the world, some big stuff. But I can tell you there is not one mainstream blockchain application anywhere in the world at all. And those of you who think, ooh, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a rounding error in the financial sector. It is tiny. It is nothing. It does not actually count. So NFT is a mole on the side of blockchain. It is even smaller. And if we look at the size of this fantastic room and how little it is filled, and the exhibition space next door, you know it's very early days. But that's not what we want. So before I was supposed to speak, there was a guy called Professor Wolf who was going to speak. I was speaking to him last night in the States. And he was going to speak about why it has become unsuccessful. This is my own take, not his. There is no scalable revenue model for NFTs right now. Make one, sell it is not a revenue model that repeats daily throughout the year. It's not like making coffee. There are financial values that are diminishing. Other than celebrities, all these others have gone down. The ape gang one has plummeted throughout the year. So it is not going on the upward, but celebrities has gone up. The world is moving towards COVID. Since COVID's gone into COP26, we talk about net zero. NFT is actually against this. It's going the wrong direction what the world is demanding. And I hear this failure to democratize creatives. I heard this previous speech about, it's helping to democratize. It's tiny. It's really small. The biggest one, the creatives that are making most money are actually the celebrities who are not, who already made it. And then it comes to, it's just a trend, which was mentioned by a colleague before, and it's not really doing anything. And I have to tell you, on a global scale, and we do blockchain over here in China, big time, 70% of all patents and cryptocurrencies in the world were in China. So it's a big sector there. And in the UK and so on, the fact is, when we talk about a movement of a trend, it has to affect society. And it's very hard to fit NFT into that trend. So we may have started in very humble beginnings with NFT. Where we're trying to get to, I picked a random date, the SDGs, United Nations 2030, is that the ESG factors are as good as, the non-financial factors are as good as financial factors. So we can see it contributing to society, contributing to people. And the COVID experience has changed our lives and is changing our lives. Less about money, more about integration society. COP26 captured our imagination. So we need to move towards these new environmental and social governance or responsibility issues, because that's the direction of travel for the rest of the world. Listed companies now have to adhere to ESG directives. So we've got to go with how can we mainstream this NFT, and this was discussed earlier today. Not too early, I'm afraid I only arrived early afternoon. So can we balance it, and is there an investment opportunity to mainstream? So if we look at some of the numbers, everybody heard about that little, the first one, the NFT, $69.3 million. Okay, that was a big one. It caught a lot of press. The ape gang thing, I find hard to understand how ape gang thing can help feed children in Africa. I can't sort of, us who work in governments, we can't see how that fits. But it's about $3,500 average. That average is diminishing. It's not going up. The celebrity angle is going up. So that's an existing industry using it more and more. And some of you will know about Tarantino's actually having a big bust up in the court cases about ownership of NFTs with the production companies. So how can we take the mainstream, but yet bring in the ESG angle, the social reasons for NFTs? The thing about celebrities is that they love social causes. That's what we do, okay? I lead the world's largest think tank in the sector, a couple 100,000 people. And, the fact is the social causes, like that's Leonardo who came to COP26 in Glasgow in the UK, the BLM, the taking the knee, Arnold Schwarzenegger and disability, et cetera, et cetera. They believe in social causes and they use their celebrity status to get influence and to direct the market. And so they should, because they have a great responsibility. So we're going to talk about, as an example, how we can work it and how we are working it. About disability is where we started, because that was the easiest, lowest hanging fruit for us. These celebrities, some of you will recognize, and some of you, you may not recognize everyone. Left-hand top are the ones who actually self-identify as being disabled. Disabled also means mental health. Disabled means also physical disability. And those on the right-hand side are the ones who have disability in their families or in their enlarged families. And they want to do something now with NFTs on a scale. Around 20% of the world is disabled, including mental health. That's a big proportion. Over 1 billion people in the world suffer from this. So how can NFT help this and become of assistance to this cause? We are all well versed with creatives now creating an NFT, going to sale or auction. Okay, that's well established now. We understand how it works. For it to become recurring revenue, it needs to be licensable, so you can license the stuff, so you can take it and actually make a lot more fractional money from smaller amounts. Other business, and the guy who taught me that was a guy called Mark McCormack, who was the agent for Tiger Woods and 99% of all tennis stars at the time before he died. He said, cut it slim, cut it thin. And then to bring the community, which was discussed at the last meeting, the last presentation, up to it, you need to capture that community. In blockchain, we have a way to capture communities, and that's called the DAO, the Distributed Autonomous Organization. But you need to bring that in. So we started with the celebrity backing, looking at setting up an exchange. The purple is just the color that disability associates. Just simple as that, nothing else. And we looked at it being a hub between sports, celebrities, musicians, performers, retailers who will benefit from having these people support them. But the only way it's going to happen is if they deliver a social mission, and we bring that through rating services. And that was also discussed today. Rating services like TripAdvisors, you're all familiar with it. So in this particular one, it's about the attitude of retailers towards disability and how they will, I feel empowered. I just have a disabled toilet, but they treat me right. They treat me well. They treat me as a human, as it should be. And the revenue models, and we're still arguing this, I have to tell you, because the celebrity agents are quite ferocious. In fact, just before I came up, a whole group of football agents rebelled against a percentage we were talking to them about. And I was just told from London. So is that the retailers pay the money to the rights to the NFT. About 25% goes back to the celebrity because the agents need to be paid. 50% go off to the foundation. The foundation, the not-for-profit foundation, as we are, in fact, it's not us, that will help the disabled community in the world. Okay, so let's look at the one we've been working on. We've been for 2022, the first one. So here we have a guy you will well know in this area. He was not long ago here, right? And his brother is disabled, severely disabled. He is passionate about this cause. And through fractional ownership of an NFT, the celebrity has a bit of ownership. The retailer has a bit of that image ownership. And of course, the foundation has a bit of that. We can scale this, and only NFT can do this. Only NFT can do this, because you can choose specific celebrities against specific missions and against specific stores. It doesn't need to be Starbucks. It can be just one store. And the way it works is this. If one store who could never afford Lewis Hamilton pays 10 cents per day, I've said 10 pence to be British, 10 pence, 10 cents a day to have the right to that NFT usage in the shop, and another money for their online presence and for advertising and so on, so on, so on. Then actually, these figures, just to give an illustration for the audience, in 6 million, there's actually about 1 billion organizations in the world, 165 million companies in Europe, about 35 million in America, 40 million in China. But we brought it to certain levels of businesses. Then actually the figures add up quite quickly. And we're not talking about whole-scale adoption, because of course, TripAdvisor has about 860 million customers, so it actually has worked out well. The rating services do work quite well. But you can start to gain recurring revenues, and that is just one line of revenue, because the revenues from one celebrity for one project can come in from retailers, from the stores, online, posters, as TV, social media. It's only 10 cents each drop, but cumulatively it adds up. And of course, that is that one social mission of disability. There are myriad of social missions which NFT can apply itself to. So we're talking about a certain phrase being applied to certain celebrities, being applied to certain social missions, food, whatever, climate change, to retailers, and everyone is actually benefiting from this. And truly only NFT can do this, because I'd like you to think of it as imagine like a website where you can just say, and that's what we're developing now, a website where we say, you pick on the celebrity, you pick on the business that you're that business, you want that celebrity to back you, you pick on the phrase, you pick on the drops, the commercial drops you're going to have within your organization, multi-drops if you're multinational, and you pay the price, and you get to own that, but you can only get to use it if you apply to that rating service, if you actually change your behavior in your organization. We had started about 2 years ago developing this idea, and we started putting together NFT galleries. We own the only one in the world which is permanent, and we've just about completed the second one in Portugal. That one is in the UK. It's not just one room, it's 20-bedroom complex. NFT artists can come, stay, they create, they display, but it has to be very secure because of the value that's in there. So this, what we're talking about, you'd be happy to know I've only got 5 minutes left. So what we're talking about is scaling NFT to become a mainstream and to become relevant to society. It really upsets me, honestly, when I see trivial applications, because I think it has much more potential. And when we grasp this opportunity, we can actually start moving towards mainstreaming this great technology, which you and many of you have created, but it's up to others to make it work in a commercial model that is rewarding for the world and for yourself. In our case, we have, and we've not had pushback on this, 50% of the takings go to the foundation, which is governed by a DAO. I'm not going to talk about this because it's too complex, and there's many other teams that do this, and we've presented up parts of it elsewhere. So the other parts of it, which is not for discussion today, are the issues of the rating service, which is actually another crypto token called a microtip, like a microshare, because it's worth more than money. To say thank you, to say it's more than just money, isn't it? There is also a money token that tracks the behavior and the data, and there's retailer discounts. I heard earlier one of the inspirational speakers talk about effectively fourth industrial revolution technologies, 5G, AI, IoT, blockchain. These are technologies we use in China in whole scale, because in China we have 1.4 billion people. We have 72, with Afghanistan, 73 countries which are one belt, one road. We cannot follow by individual rights. They use technology to follow. They make mistakes, lots of mistakes, but their intention is to better their society as they see it, and that is the key. So our particular interest in the sector, in all blockchain, in all crypto, in all NFT, is actually the social causes it can help. And I've seen a lot of fantastic presentations in the short time I've been here that can actually make that happen. And it's exciting. I'm an old man, so I'm going to take that into account. I've been perhaps a little down sometimes when I heard some of the stuff, especially when I went next door and everybody there was half the age of my children. So I went, wow, what the hell am I still doing here? I was fortunate to retire about a decade ago and just to do things I really like to do. And we're doing this now. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to find out more information, that is another video about some other aspects, not the NFT aspects, on the left-hand side. Do contact me on any social media platform you wish, or WeChat, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We will respond. We are considering making this into a listed company, but it's super important to us that the social mission is at the heart of it and not an aside to it. It's not woke, okay? It's not let's make money out of NFTs and, by the way, give 5% to disabled or for climate change. It has to be at the center of it. And getting the balance right between financial and non-financial rewards is difficult, is very difficult. That's it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hands together for Professor Olinga Taeed, who is looking younger than ever. I would never look at you and think an old man at all. You're looking great.
Oh my God.
Looking fabulous.
Oh my God.